Check, check. Thank you so much for that introduction. Give it up for the Love King, ladies and gentlemen. He forced me to say that, the Love King. I'm coming down with a little cold, so please, please just bear with me, okay? Can you guys hear me all right? All right, so Mr. Raheem DeVaughn, a.k.a. the Love King.
Hello.
Are you excited about your album right now?
I'm extremely excited, man. The feedback has been tremendous, via the internet and, social networking is a testament that if you use it right and, if you have something that's, I guess, like a hot topic or that, people feel like the world needs to know about it, they're going to spread the word,
Now, the name of his new album is called A Place Called Loveland. Talk to us about where is this place and how can we get there?
Wow. Well, the quickest way to get there is if you have an iPhone, is to simply go online and go on your phone and go on your iTunes app and download the album. It's a great body of work. Has anybody downloaded the album already? Don't be ashamed to say that you haven't. Bueller. That means that potentially you could buy my album tonight. And you could too. Now it's so this album, man, it's I think it's some of my best work to date. This will be my fourth in studio album that I've released, yesterday. And what's also unique about it is my first major release as an independent artist. Yeah, so
that's a big thing right there.
Yeah.
Now talk to me about why you decided to go independent.
I mean, I personally feel like indie is a new major. I feel like independent is a new major. With the downsizing, and I tried that lane already. So and it worked for me as well. You know what I mean? So, but I'm definitely about expanding and trying new things. Definitely making more money. Being my own boss, and enjoying the fruits of my labor. And I think that it's I think we off to a great start. You know what I mean? Like, although this is an independent company, and independent effort, it doesn't feel like that. We still move like a major. I had one of the most added records, between the time of, Valentine's Day and now. And, it's just the success of the album and everything. It doesn't feel like it's independent,
Now, I got to tell you guys something. Me and Raheem, we've known each other for like years. I remember when you were pushing just your mixtapes, just trying to get radio plays. So first of all, I'm proud of you because you never gave up. You kept it moving. This is a hustler right here. So congratulations on this album. Now, talk to me about your journey. Like, are you originally from D.C.? Because that's where you rep a lot.
Yeah, I was originally born in Orange, New Jersey.
Is Jersey in the building? Where's Jersey at?
Shout out to Jersey in the building. right on the line of, right across the line is Newark. I spent time in Newark. My summers, usually I would spend in Jersey and Newark and East Orange. And so definitely that's very much a part of my life and my background. My mom actually lived in Maryland, though. So that's where I would spend the majority of my school semesters and whatnot. And so being very well-rounded, being with my mom and kind of like, I guess you could say suburbial, middle class or, and then being in Newark, and
so you got a little bit of hood,
brick city,
little suburbia,
definitely the balance.
Altogether?
Yeah, definitely the balance. But I finished high school in Maryland, and attended college for some time, Coppin State in Baltimore.
So between all of that, when did you start singing? Like, when did you realize you had a passion?
I always was into music and had a love for music and a curiosity about it. Being in choir in high school and whatnot. But definitely, once I went to college, some people go to college to be a lawyer. Some people go to college, to become a doctor. Me, I went to college actually to find myself and figure out what I was going to do with my life.
Did you find yourself?
I did. I mean, I didn't graduate. I didn't get a degree, but I definitely graduated with a degree in life. I can't say that if I stayed in school that, I'd be who I am today.
Now, growing up and going through high school and college, who are some of your musical influences? Because I hear a little bit of Marvin Gaye, a little bit of Prince.
Oh, definitely. I'm a '90s baby in the sense of like I feel like that was just a very dope time for R&B. You know what I mean? Like the early '90s, late, that whole era. Like, man, I think it was just like a great time for R&B, and a lot of dope artists came out. Erykah Badu, D'Angelo. You think about those acts on the soulful side, the Roots. By the way, I just did Jimmy Fallon, so you can tune into that.
Shout out to the Roots. When does that come on?
That actually airs tonight. Man.
Okay.
Yeah. So But you know, on the soul side, the more eclectic side, when you think about live instrumentation, you know, you had those acts come out, as well as, you know, Jodeci, Boyz II Men, the entire catalog and soundtracks that Babyface is responsible for. Like, you know, I was always the guy, you know, that bought the hard copy CD and flipped through to see who wrote what, who played on what.
Well, that's the thing. I noticed on this CD, you have the words to the songs as well. A lot of people don't do that anymore.
Well, we took like understand. This is like you know, in 1995, you know, when you take D'Angelo, for example, when he came out with Brown Sugar, it was kind of like, with everything that was going on in mainstream radio and everything, like that body of work came out, and it was just like, yo, this dude was like, just came out like just out of a time warp, and it was just a classic.
Until this day when you put it on, it's
it
classic
just has a vibe to it. It was a very ingenious project, and it wasn't him trying to be anything else than the other. And that's what he felt, and that's really, you know, my that's my baby, and that's how I feel about, you know, A Place Called Loveland. I feel, you know, I don't feel like you can really put a date on it. I don't feel like it feels dated 90s, but it's definitely, you know, the influences of, you know, and clearly it's 2013, you know. I want people to look back on this album, though, and say, man, you know, this was the year that I fell in love. I conceived my child. I lost my virginity. I had some dialogue like about life. You know what I'm saying, with somebody that, even if you're not in love, and like with a friend for life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't listen to my music and not have like nothing to talk about.
Some of the songs you talk about regret and broken hearts and being in love and falling out of love. Have you broken a lot of hearts in your day?
I've had my heart broken. I've broken hearts. My music is definitely, I wear it on my sleeve, but it's very much vicarious. You know what I'm saying? I'm a vicarious writer as well, in the sense that this record in particular, it's a relationship think tank album. So I try to cover the whole spectrum of a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, from the love connection to, you know, to baggage from previous relationships. To, you know, to like, I know a lot of the, I've been seeing the Twitter like flying, like a lot of the guys can relate to the song "Wrong Forever," and a lot of the ladies can too, because it's gonna be like, man, you know what?
Have you ever felt like that?
I'm with this,
like,
yeah, definitely, because, you know, I've dated women, and, you know, I've had women in my life that I felt like, man, like, I don't deserve you, like, you know, or, you know, after all the dirt that I done or whatever, you know what I mean, like, you still here, like. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's what women do. We ride with you. If you're a good man and we see that in you, we're gonna ride with you.
And that's
sometimes it's too late for you to realize that.
And that's what men do too, because, you know, women are not subject to not be players. You know what I'm saying? I always say, you know what? It's an even playing field, right? I always say that now with the brothers. Brothers, if you agree with me, men, yes. You a brother?
What are you guys agreeing
too?
with?
When I say brother, I mean all my brothers. It's an even playing field.
So you're saying women can be players as well?
What you mean? No, not can be. They exist.
We're not saying that, but more often than not, it's men that are the players, right, ladies? Okay.
No, what it is actually you guys are better players.
That's true.
You're better players than us. Like,
Touché.
you're better players. Like, yeah.
Not saying that we're proud of it, but sometimes that just is what it is.
It is what it is.
Talk to me about this track, Pink Velvet Crush, or Pink Crush Velvet.
See, you must be nervous. Like,
Pink Crush Velvet.
You have it, you know.
Oh, is that what? It's a metaphor.
Oh, it's definitely a metaphor.
Oh, okay.
Like, yours would probably be like hot, wet chocolate or something like that. If I had to name yours,
me, I'm a little cold.
This
so.
is based off of, I would probably call it like
okay.
hot wet
moving
chocolate.
right along, you have.
You got that hot, wet chocolate, the sweetest chocolate that I've ever known. That's the remix.
I like that. Let that be the remix, ladies. Right?
It's a, you know what it is? It's a grown and sexy, mannish record. Very descriptive of, you know, of the cherry on top of the sundae. And I feel like, you know, when you listen to a Raheem DeVaughn record, you know, like, initially, like, if my son go down it goes down and looks at the track list, and he don't necessarily know what the Pink Crush Velvet is, or it's a lot of ways I could have said that. You know what I mean? So with me, I like, whether it's a song that I write 100% or 80% or don't write at all, it needs to be conveyed in a very poetic, you know what I'm saying,
I like that.
manner.
I like the fact that it's not like all in your face like a lot of R&B is nowadays. You gotta kind of listen to the words and to the metaphors.
And it kind of like once again it creates dialogue, and it leaves room to be, to be mannish and grown and sexy where it should be behind closed doors.
I see. Now you got an interlude on here with Jazz from Drew Hill.
Yeah. I had to get the homie like that. That record just had that vibe to it, and when you think of the '90s, you can't not think of the '90s without thinking of Drew Hill as well.
But what I'm saying is that people don't make complete albums anymore. People have one single, they hear it on the radio, they go buy it, and that's it. So I thank you for making a complete album with interludes, bonus tracks, and everything, so we can get our our money's worth.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Get your money's worth. Get your worth. Like everything, like it's my albums. Creating an album for me is a very the process doesn't just happen overnight. Like it's very well thought out. Like you know what I mean. And I'm always thinking about like the next. Like this album was being created, back in 2010.
What were you doing back in 2010?
Wrapping up another album.
Which was?
A Place Called Loveland, which actually which was a Love Award masterpiece, which was a Grammy-nominated
Is that
album.
when you had the braids?
Nah, I ain't had the braids since like 2000. I cut my braids like 2007, 2008. I came out with Love Behind the Melody, which is kind of like an abstract cover because I'm like sitting in this chair, but you can't really tell if what the hair is doing per se. But that album had Woman on that record. Customer was on that record. Those were my first 2 Grammy nominations back in.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 08, 09, and then 2010, I dropped the Love and War Masterpiece, which was actually a double CD. There's a Master Deluxe version of the album, which is like 28 tracks. This is an entirety. I remember the day that I told my manager, my management team, like, yo, I'm gonna do this double CD. I'm like, what? Like, song cap and business doing that? And at the time, it was a great idea, and I think as artists, we have to get that out. But definitely this album in particular is a relationship think tank album. I've kind of stepped away from the pulpit for a minute with preaching, with my bulletproof radical records, the record I did with Luda and everything.
Yeah, I noticed they kind of weren't on there because listen to your mixtapes and listen to the albums. You definitely, was on your Black Power for a little minute. You have those tracks, and then the songs about women and empowerment and uplifting. And now this is just strictly R&B. This is just
I mean, it's different shades to me. You know what I mean? I like to think that I'm your favorite artist's favorite artist. You know what I mean? And there's a lot that goes on in my mind. It's a lot that I want to get out. I always feel like I'm running out of time. I'll see something on the news and say, hey, man, you know what? I don't like that situation. I feel some kind of way about that issue. As the most recent, the Trayvon Martin case, for example, which, we did a record. I did a record called Trigger Man, which I got Styles P on. And the record will actually be on iTunes as well. It's available. And all the proceeds go to the family, to the Trayvon Martin Foundation.
Now we need that. You can give it up for that. Now, talk to me about this radio show that you have.
Yeah,
the Raheem
DeVaughn show. Now, the cool thing about that, for all my iPhone carriers, again, we're into like episode 118, the Raheem DeVaughn show. We've been doing the show for 2 years. You can also iTunes podcast the Raheem DeVaughn show, so you can kind of go all the way back to the archives and hear the first song that we, the first show that we ever did, and just kind of like see the process all unfold. You know what I mean?
And you have other artists on there as well, right?
I've had every artist you can imagine on the show. It's only a few that I haven't had at this point. Most recently, Janelle Monáe.
Dope.
Some of my earlier guests were Eric Roberson and who's a great independent artist, and Eric Benet, Marsha Ambrosia has been on the show performing. She did an hour-long performance. T.I.'s been on the show. The Game. I did Kendrick Lamar's private listening party when he came to D.C., for his album. Miguel. So a lot of dope artists. They don't just come and do interviews. We have a sound stage area. It's a 9,000 square foot facility where, 2 recording studios and very dope atmosphere, with the climate of terrestrial radio. my radio show has become another outlet for artists to come express themselves and kind of like, this kind of vibe. Like we can't treat the the consumers like robots. Like even if they want no opinion, even if they want to have an opinion to have no opinion, they want to have an opinion.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So it's cool to have artists on there that I look up to, and some that I hope to work with, and it's, wow, what made their brain tick to create that song,
We're gonna give you guys a chance to ask your own questions. So raise your hand, and someone's gonna come around.
How you doing? My name is Kashif. Who would you who would you love to work with? Your favorite artist you would love to work with? Your dream artist you would love to work with?
Favorite artist, dream artist. I got a list of 5. The Roots. I want to definitely do an album with the Roots. Sade. Prince. And the last 2, they're not with us anymore. With Marvin Gaye and Bob Marley.
Hi, Raheem. My name is Gail Davis, and I've been in the industry for a minute. I have a question for you. Barry White was my mentor, and I've worked with people like Gladys Knight and so on. And what I've always loved about your voice, was amazing to me, is you've had a voice that brings people back to that era, but it's from today. So when you look back at those greats, okay, musically, who influenced you? And do you what can you emulate from them in that you can bring to your own longevity?
Definitely. Probably 2 of my major influences would be Prince and Marvin Gaye. With both of them in particular, there was a like they exuded this sexiness, this grown and mannish sexiness, but it was just always tastefully done. Sometimes a bit racy, but still tastefully done. And but they still managed to have a level of consciousness. I had to throw Michael Jackson in there too as well, but they still were able to have a level of consciousness to and it seemed like when they set out to play at their piano or that late night studio session, you could hear that they genuinely care about people. You know what I mean? Like lyrics, they genuinely care about people and care about what's going on in the world and worldly topics, Not just, I just want to get you in my bedroom and make love to you, And when they felt like that, they let you know that too,
I'm sorry. Hi, Rob. Speaking of collabos, I need you and Dwelle to get that album popping.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's certain people that I just know for a fact that it's a lot of collabos and EP situations that I want to do, I got damn near a whole album recorded with Snoop right now, and it's a real dope album. You know what I mean? Like,
is it Snoop or Snoop Lion?
Snoop. Well, actually, we started the album before it became Snoop Lion.
Okay,
you know what
okay.
I mean? Like the process, and we definitely want to get back in. But man, like me and Dwelle, I was just in Detroit, and we kind of were just talking about that. Like, man, I think we're in that stage in music where we've done so much. And to remain creative, like I have a lot of music to make and collaborate projects and stuff that I want. That's the beauty of being independent and being your own boss. You know what I mean? And owning your masters in this game, and when it comes to music, like you can just kind of just do what you want.
Okay. I had a part 2. I had the pleasure of seeing you rock stages from a small room to huge venues. What's that feeling like?
Because I'm about to rock the Apple Store. Do you know that?
I know. What's that feeling like when you touch that stage and the mic is in your hand?
It's like it's the ultimate high for me. You know what I'm saying? It's the ultimate exchange, the connection of love. Like I've had people say, "Hey, man, your music saved my life." You know what I'm saying? Like I was just looking at my timeline on Twitter. Guy said, "Man, last time you put out an album, this is what came from it," and it was a picture of his beautiful daughter. You know what I mean? She looked to be like 3 or 4 years old. So, that's a testament to me that, what music can be, A brother ran up on me the other day and said, "Hey, man, I'm knee deep in child support, man, and I need you to help me pay." You didn't catch that one.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I want to ask you a question that went with the answer that you had. How does it feel? Well, you already said it, but how can I say it? How does it feel that you changed, like to go to bed knowing that you did your albums and knowing that you made people happy and uplifted people?
It's always a great feeling. It lets me know, like, ultimately, like, I'm using my gift for good.
Yeah.
You know, and understand, like, I'm a human person. I'm a person that my life is crazy, so I have to fight to do. You have to fight to do right.
Do you also have? Because I'm an artist, so do you also feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders?
Oh, definitely. Because I'm different. So when you're different, you kind of like, for all my nerds or misfits or outcasts, you know what I'm saying? When you're different, I've always kind of just been different, but I accepted that early, like being young.
What age?
I mean, young, just young. It's like
okay,
it's
so.
Hi. Sorry. When you were first, my name's Ibrahim. When you were first starting out, what was the main obstacle that you faced, and then what kept you going? So what motivated you to carry on?
The main obstacle that I faced coming up in the game is an obstacle that I still face now, and probably will hear to the end of time. Is the word no. You know what I mean? Like when someone tells you no, you can't do something, or no, you're not good enough. You know what I mean? So yeah, like it's.
But then when you hear that, what do you do?
Well, I mean, you can either go crawl in your cave, and you know what I mean, and cry about it, you know what I mean, or you can step up your game, step up your hustle, and be the excellence that you are, and improve that person wrong. So you use that as fuel, I mean, never take no for an answer. You know what I mean? So and everything in moderation. But just never take no for an answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Raheem DeVaughn, a.k.a. the Love King. I'm ready to hear him singing. You guys ready? Are you guys ready for Raheem DeVaughn? That's what I'm talking about.
I thank y'all so much for coming on the drop of a dime like that, just off the respect of a tweet or Instagram or Facebook or something like that. Thank y'all so much. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Raheem_DeVaughn. That's Raheem, RAHEEM _DEVAUGHN. I follow all my fans back. You know what I mean? Follow me on Instagram as well. Hashtag is Raheem DeVaughn for the next month. When you talk about me, the biggest service you can do for me is hashtag my name and hashtag my project, A Place Called Loveland. I was trending yesterday in DC. You know what I mean? But let's take this thing worldwide and let this virus spread. And buying my album, just know this: buying my album is just not about me. It's about the testament that R&B is not dead, that soul music is not dead, that timeless music lives forever, and it's about putting. How do I want to say this? It's what the L always gonna stay in love, baby, long as I'm here, because I'm the love king. Can you dig it? All right? It's about putting the value back in great music. Like that's what I want to do as an artist. When I want them to be like, man, Raheem DeVaughn was one of those artists that came along, with the John Legends, the Tamar Braxtons, Jaheim, like everybody that dropped the album yesterday. You know what I'm saying? That was a big day for R&B, right? So it's not just about my project, but it's about the culture, man. Like I'm feeding a culture with my music, and the only way to do that is to keep that going and to support legally and legally download and go out and buy a hard copy CD. So I promise you, all right, I promise you, on September 4th, 2013, as long as you keep supporting my music and spreading the word out, that I will give you a body of work that you can enjoy from beginning to end. As long as the Creator bless me with lungs in my body to do so. All right? So that's my vow to you. That's my promise to you as a music lover. Now you are the flock. Go spread the word. I'm not gonna pass no collection plate around. Right now, I do got some wine back at the hotel. But I am going to ask you that if you like what you heard today, when it's feasible for you to do, please support me and buy my art. And A Place Called Loveland, and tell 20 people to tell another 15, tell another 30, whatever. Tell a friend to tell a family to tell the world. I like to say that all the time. Tell a friend to tell a family to tell the world about the Love King and my project, A Place Called Loveland, and all my bodies of work. I love you. I'm the Love King, R&B, hippie, neo soul, rock star, Raheem DeVaughn. I'm gonna stick around. I think are we gonna do some like autographs or something, or just a few? We gotta shut it down. I love y'all, man. I'll be back on tour in New York very soon. All right. October 6th. Tickets already on sale. With El Vonner. Love life.